So I've talked a lot about femboys, probably 3 whole videos, and have gained the reputation of someone that specialises in said subject. To us, I don't think this is natural.
Every video, because like every video he mentions at least once femboys. You good, bro? You want to tell us something?
Believe me, it was a bachelor's degree that was obtained without my willing cooperation, and unfortunately I've acquired a number of people that watch my videos that are femboys. Are you one of them? Who were joking? You probably are. But a few months ago I talked about a Femboy Vtuber that was being deplatformed, targeted and slandered, and they went by the name Bungo Taiga or TaigaHolic, and said video was going to be very different. And I even admitted so at the end of that video. That video was going to be the opposite of what it came out to be. But when making it, looking at the evidence of all the claims lobbied against them, some were proved wrong and some were just created for malicious intent.
I was cute, I was energetic, I was fun.
And the video actually ended up being supporting this Femboy Vtuber, but still retained the title I was gonna name it. Now after uploading that video I just thought, you know, this is something I was interested in, I talked about it, made a video, uploaded it, and thought nothing else of it. Like many of the videos uploaded to this channel, it is just me talking about things I was interested in. This is not me admitting to taking an interest in femboys, by the way. But once that video was uploaded, really did hit the fan. I'm talking liquid diarrhea with corn kernels. And I talked about this on one of my streams, how I got blamed for this whole scenario being the instigator. People thought I kicked the bucket of liquid dog feces and did not clean up after myself. And I thought it was complete bullshit.
You know what? This is bullshit.
And I still to this day think it's complete bullshit. I would like to forward the blame to Rev Says Desu and the VTuber Cure. I had nothing to do with it, I was picking daisies at the time. But anyway, after that video was made, a lot of things happened and I wanted to wait until the sediment settled before talking about the pure chaos that happened afterwards. Because there was a lot of monkey shit throwing and just a general disarray. But a few months later now I can finally open my Fallout shelter. That is not a reference to the Bethesda game for handheld devices, although it is a great game to sink your time and money into. But I thought I'd give a continuation to that video and correct some things I got wrong. Yeah, I'll say it. I'll admit it. I used to play VR chat, and the one time in a decade I am finally wrong. But anyway, quickly, what was the Taiga situation?
No, Taiga is an indie streamer who, I don't know the whole story.
Well, if you don't know what the situation was, here it is quickly. Taiga is a femboy VTuber that had a bunch of allegations lobbied against them, such as communicating with a minor, being abusive towards Discord mods, being Dr. Disrespect Mark II, transphobia and homophobia, and just all around being a terrible person. These allegations were made by past mods, past Stalker, and people they faintly interacted with. And what didn't help with this was that other VTubers had been circulating this information, many not with the message that this was all alleged. A key example is when Nux Taku introduced this situation to Moist Critical.
Left to money.
Is this HoloLive?
No, Taiga is an indie streamer who, I don't know the whole story, but Taiga was outed to be a
even prefacing it by saying he doesn't know the whole story, but still goes on to tell Moist Critical this person is a PDF file. Why do I have to use file types to refer to this? Why can't I just say the word? And even when he got outed for being wrong, used the excuse he just believed what friends told him.
Like, I was in a video and I was talking about it, and I also alleged that he did that because close friends of mine told me, and I saw, you know, creepy conversations of him talking to kids and or talking about kids and, you know, liking little boys and stuff like that. Who knows if it's a joke, you know, and like I alleged it also because a friend told me.
Posted a premature apology under the video and got in contact with Taiga to say that he was going to do another video with Moist Critical, straightening everything out and going into more VTuber drama. And surprise, surprise, that video never came.
This guy Bungo Taiga, and I apologized to him privately that...
Let me be clear. Let me check exactly what he said. If I do a sequel with Charlie, I was planning on it, I'll try to clear the record more publicly. I'll also do more research. Again, I don't know right now, however, I'll try to rectify any extra damage I caused and hope you can accept my apology. This was in December 22nd, 2022. 2022! He said he was going to make a sequel video with Moist Critical. Video never came.
But even if he did make a video like that, the damage was already done. With the involvement of Moist Critical, this situation almost exploded with the limited context that was given, along with the fact that other VTubers in the community were telling other VTubers to avoid Taiga, with such examples as marinavt. But both marinavt and Nux have apologised in some capacity, which we'll get into later because it was one weird apology, but with allegations launched by previous mods, a Stalker, and then further distribution by other people, overall ruined Taiga's reputation. Nobody wanted to get involved with them, and people constantly harassed them because of these allegations.
And it's because no one wants to touch me because of the things like people like Nux say about me.
Allegations that were allegedly not true and taken out of context. A previous private investigator looked into the situation and created the document The Exoneration of Bungo Taiga, where it was found that the previous mods that created a document on Taiga did so with malicious intent because they harboured feelings for them. They were lost in the Femboy source, and because of this they neglected their mod duties, so they got unmodded. Created a now taken down document that would expose Bungo Taiga, along with a website, both of which was referenced in the Exoneration of Bungo Taiga document. Now, even with the Exoneration, surprise surprise, their reputation was still ruined.
Shit just keeps kind of happening. Like I kind of just can't catch a break. It's over.
And on top of that, their YouTube channel would be removed due to sexually explicit content, and just after hitting 100,000 subscribers and getting their silver play button. But YouTube would be even more cruel, leading Taiga with a carrot on a stick, believing they would get their channel back, and then yoinking it away again.
Actually yoinking!
By a series of reviews on their channel, making the statement it was safe to be on YouTube, and that it was their mistake. And then took it down again, and then denied any further appeals. This has happened with other VTubers on YouTube, and many of them actually got their YouTube channels back, except Taiga, which is still in the void to this day. Alongside this, they were mass reported on other platforms, with one even bragging they did it, leaving them only with Twitch left. And obviously all of that took a strain on their mental health. But that was the summary of the situation initially. Things changed as more people got involved, and eventually some parties started apologising. Albeit kinda shitty. But that was the summarization of it, and what I talked about in my previous video in depth. But now I want to speak about some of the things I got wrong before I speak about what happened next.
Because there's like a few things that the person who made it like got wrong.
But yes, as stated before, I got some things wrong. One of which was the timeline. In my video I described it in a way where it was all done simultaneously, when in reality it was basically a domino effect, one thing happening after another. But the events in order are the mods speaking out about Taiga, which Taiga promptly responded to, publishing a tweet longer basically denouncing everything they said. The millionaire Stalker then made their appearance, became frustrated with Taiga's reaction to them and made the document and website. Nux Taku took note and presented this to Charlie. In the video I showed Penguin Zero every VTuber drama, and at the same time the VTuber community started circulating this information, and then the Exoneration document came out, but majority of people still didn't see the entire picture. Nux Taku pinned a comment under the video, basically saying they had apologised and reached out to Taiga, something they would do once again later on. Taiga then loses his YouTube channel, then later other platforms, due to mass reporting, and that is basically the situation summed up. Another thing I got wrong was that I said it was the same Stalker, when in fact the person that produced the document and the one that was mass reporting were two different people. I was made blatantly aware by this by the person themselves, who apparently has only been mass reporting Taiga's channel because they wanted attention and they were being attacked, and then goes on to say they did it because the content was too sexual, but is reposting porn on Twitter, and then begs for YouTube to reinstate their channel. Like, none of this is making any sense.
Like, I am sorry.
Now, after my original post, a lot of things have changed. Most notably, the people advertising the document that allegedly exposed Taiga, made by the past mods and the Stalker, with a lot of context missing from the screenshots taken. Some of the people advertising these documents were in the VTuber community, and promoted hate towards Taiga when this initially came out. One example is the VTuber marinavt, who went out of their way to make sure everyone associated with Taiga knew about this. And they have since apologized on stream.
You know, and I will even, if Taiga watches this, like, I am sorry.
But when you are hard shilling that the point was true, and even going out of your way to get in contact with people that were associated with Taiga, the apology leaves a tiny bit more to be desired. But hats off to them, they did admit they were wrong and did apologize. Now, another person that initially got it wrong was Nux Taku, the person that is arguably taking the most backlash from this situation, and has said it is one of the biggest mistakes of his career.
And I made a huge up. Without hyperbole, this was the biggest mistake of my career, and I am deeply, deeply sorry for spreading misinformation and for causing any undue hate to be sent Taiga's way.
And for some reason thinks he is the one getting the entire blame for the situation.
But also, in the wake of Taiga getting banned, people on YouTube seem to be blaming me for his unjust ban, which is wildly untrue as well.
With Taiga making some tweets about him before their ban. And Nux seemed to cite my video to say I blamed him, or even infer that fact, when speaking about why Taiga was banned and the situation in general. And I don't know how he got that from this video, but the only thing he's to blame for is his blatant ignorance. He made an offhand comment that he didn't know entirely was true in front of one of the biggest YouTubers and advertised the situation as that as a truth. That is the only thing he is initially to blame for. And yeah, he made a mistake. Should he have known everything about the situation before making that statement? Yes. Should he have been believing what somebody else told him, supposedly one of his friends who has not been named? Definitely no. This was done 2 years ago and I wouldn't have known about it if it wasn't for Nux. But a lot of other people would have viewed that video and not looked at the context and came up with their own conclusion. A majority of people would just take his word for fact. And it's not like he was DMing people Taiga was associated with to tell them Taiga is potentially a predator or something. So I don't think he did this with malicious intent, but the way he dealt with it afterwards was terrible. He speaks out that he apologised and got it over with, then doubles down at times, with more offhand comments that got him in this situation.
But the truth, bro! Right. I thought you cared about, stood up for small creators. I do. Especially when the small creators don't have sussy interactions in regards to minors. Was wildly irresponsible making a claim like that, as there was not sufficient evidence for that shit. The DMs that were leaked were not of that shit. And 2 months later, Taiga was exonerated of the grooming allegations by a private eye.
And yeah, he did apologise in private DMs, but never did so publicly, where all of his audience could see it, till recent months. Because he used the excuse that he apologised privately and on the Some Ordinary podcast. And yeah, he did. But a point a lot of people are making is that he should have apologised in his own video and in the same format he did with the accusation. Not just a small segment on a podcast and not just a pinned comment. But what makes it worse is when he did publicly apologise, saying he fucked up and this is one of the worst things in his career, there is a kick stream of him saying another offhand comment. In almost the same time frame he was apologising, which sort of invalidates it, makes it seem less sincere. And the evidence he's talking about is the DM where he wants pictures of a 17-year-old or something when they were 19 at the time, which sounds terrible saying out loud. And yeah, that screenshot is very much damning. And looking back at it from my previous video, when it was initially released, I think if they added more context to that screenshot, like maybe later messages, they would have definitely had a point, but they don't. And Taiga, when addressing this situation, said it was a joke.
There is a DM where Taiga is speaking to someone who uncovered a minor posting lewds in their Discord channel. That is what they call child, in case you needed a translation.
I was fucking like, what, 19? I was fucking 19. I had been normalized to this fucking behavior, okay? I thought it was normal. I was like, well, it's not the fucking end of the world. It's a fucking 2-year age gap. That's legal where I live. What's the big deal? Like, I don't know. It's fucking 17. Who cares? They'll be illegal in a year. That was my mindset at the time. Obviously, that's wrong now. I'm keenly aware with, like, the whole fucking thing. Years of grooming, years of doing the same shit. I was like, what's the fucking big deal? It was an unhealthy mindset to be in, and I made a fucking bad joke because I was like, you know, what the fuck ever, you know, and it is what it is.
A very much disgusting joke, but when talking about it, they say, I was 19 at the time, and they thought because of the age gap, they could make that joke. And in present reflection, they say they shouldn't have made that joke at all. and people still to this day use that screenshot against them to verify they are a PDF file. But as said, that screenshot leaves a lot to be desired. If the accuser added more context, like with later messages, instead of just cutting it off here, I think they would have had a point. But that is just my opinion. But when you're speaking about apologizing to a person you accused was a PDF file with no knowledge of the situation, and then you come out and apologize for it, saying they aren't, but on a kick stream there's you saying this, it just makes no sense and can be viewed as insincere. One thing they did get right is the mod abuse. Taiga did later admit that they were toxic in that situation.
Let's touch on the mod abuse. Because, like, you know Nux hasn't looked into it, right? You know he hasn't fucking looked into it. Man, if people want to get on me for, like, just kind of being mean and, like, toxic, fair, you know what I mean?
But apart from that, regarding the Nux situation, Nux is simply to blame for advertising the whole situation as true. That is it. He didn't have a personal hand in the situation, or have anything to do with Taiga being banned. He just advertised the situation and made it worse, and then went on this weird merry-go-round of avoiding responsibility. And I know a lot of people hate Nux. He has quite quickly become one of the most hated VTubers due to past controversies and this one. But I genuinely believe that one offhand comment that started everything was not done with malicious intent, but just blatant ignorance and not knowing the value of his platform and words and who he was with, and then made it worse for everyone with his dealing with the situation. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the update with the millionaire Stalker, as they have supposedly made some comments on the platform Kiwi Farms. One comment I want to look at is his reply to somebody that made a video on the farm, where that person said, like, half of my video is saying how he's a schizophrenic. He posts the following paragraph. And once again, this may not be them. They go on to say they never flew out to Canada to stalk Taiga. They lived there originally and had an apartment, and that he never loved Taiga. They also go and say Taiga is straight and just acts gay, and in fact he is the victim here. But to protect Taiga, he won't say anything. But his statement on saying he never loved Taiga is contradicted by the statement he and I really loved each other, which potentially he could be saying as friends, but it is a out of the norm way to put it. He also goes on to say he regrets making the website and regrets doxing Taiga, but makes the accusation that Taiga harassed their girlfriend first, and even dedicates a whole message to Taiga at the bottom. But yeah, that is the whole situation and the update. Taiga does have another Twitter account, but does not have access to their YouTube. A lot of people, even Nux, are advocating for them to get their channel back, but once again, it is in the void. I think the situation has come to its close. Like it or not, people have apologised and said they were wrong, even if it took 20 spins on the merry-go-round, and Taiga's reputation is slowly healing. Moral of the story is, if you're going to advertise an accusation, make sure you know the full truth, and if you're going to make an accusation, provide more context in the screenshots that proves your point. At that point, just record your whole DM or something. But yeah, bye-bye.